A world famous former host of Gallery Cabaret. She's also the publisher of Scar Publications. And she's now flown off though to Arizona.
To Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Yep.
So hopefully she'll be entertaining the masses there. Let's hear it for Janet.
Hi, and I really wanted to come here, and I'm trying to do as much as I can before I'm going to be moving. My husband's been there for 3 weeks already, job change, fun times. So I've just got a bunch of pieces I've never read before. I don't even know if I should say the titles, and I'll just say stuff. So this little boy keeps making faces at me. And I know there's a television display video surveillance right behind my head, and this little boy is making faces to appear on TV. But after a while, he's just making face after face at me. So when is his grandmother going to say enough's enough so this little boy doesn't have to be my problem anymore? Especially the kids, especially when you're doing photos. Oh, I'm tired of trying to have a positive attitude. I'm tired of trying to tell myself that I'm worth something, that I'm good looking, that I have something to say that someone wants to hear. So I go to a bar and I stand on my own and I leave on my own, and I'm sorry. I'm tired of trying. I know areas that you're going to. Jay Wise says the 847 Suburban Wheat is like the suburbs. Too bitter for whatever sweetness it has. And I thought, did you expect anything else? I don't know if it's going to be a suburb in us or not, but I'm like, well, let's try to get into Austin if I'm going to pull it off, right? These are a bunch of really short pieces about landscapes. The mountains are brown, with occasional green trees scattered on dead grass mountain ranges. Forest fires here aren't forest fires without forests in the summer. Brush fires? No. Dead grass fires. They scorch the earth. I used to work for Monsanto. I'm going through and filing things and taking care of stuff, and I find some empty file folders, and I find a bunch of sheets of paper from a Monsanto thing with requests for euthanasia. And I'm like, really? Well, drug testing on rats and guinea pigs. And I'm like, there's just a list of these things. I just, for some reason, I'm going to read a couple of animal ones, but I was just like, I've got requests for euthanasia things for test animals in my filing cabinet, and I didn't even know it. Although I've never been in the Dominican Republic, this is about the Dominican Republic. Because I know people who have. The first time I ever consumed goat was here. And the law is that you have to keep the head and the fur on the head when selling this freshly butchered meat, so that the customer knows that it's not dog. That's a scary thing to see. You hear about it, and I've got somebody, but I'm not going to share them. But I thought this one, just because of that thing that the euthanasia forums that I received to do, would do this humorous thing, which is just in time as Thanksgiving's approaching. Well, it is. It's in a couple months, and I have this like jokingly set of haikus, but why not? One more Thanksgiving for this vegetarian with the meat eaters. They carve turkey, have their veggies, even stuffing, laced with meat juices. Hopefully it's safe to eat the mashed potatoes. And Thanksgiving is fall. Is bacon needed for baking green bean casserole? Fane smiled all day. We all give thanks, but I'd wish for less cruelty, even with no wishbone. This is one long piece because I was trying to think of something that relates to stuff done in the past, and no, it won't be about periodic table poems. But I wrote a number of pieces about my mother because years ago she had breast cancer and cervical cancer. She was just fine, but then she got leukemia, and after a couple rounds of chemo, it just didn't work, and she was passing away. This is the power to tell her, the power to see her, and the power to tell her. When Dave died, a man I had dated for a year and a half, I was stuck on the other side of the country and couldn't go to his services. I couldn't see him laying in his coffin so that I could really say goodbye. And knowing my mother was dying, I had heard he cried so much that I almost shut down when I heard that she died. My father called to tell me that he couldn't even talk, so I needed to hear the news over the phone from a friend of his. And it was my job to tell my brothers and sisters. But I couldn't get through to one of the sisters, who is the one that was closest to Mom. And my oldest sister offered to tell her, to have her page, to break the news to her. And I thought, wait, Dad told me to do this. I should be doing this. But then I thought, I don't think I have the power to tell her. I don't think I could be prepared for her falling apart at work. I just didn't know if I could do that to her. So I said, okay, you can tell her. I heard from them after the fact that my older sister was crying. So the switchboard operator, before she could even actually reach her sister for it, which probably expedited getting them connected. But so now we're all flying across the country to have another impromptu family reunion to help my father cope with being a widower. The power to see her. My mother is being cremated. She said she didn't want a service, even though her grieving family might need one. But I just talked to my sisters and they said they got through to Dad and he's waiting for us at his home across the country. So we'll all be there. But my sister told me that they're waiting with my mother's body so that we can see her before cremation. Because, you know, we might want to see her. And I didn't want to tell my one sister because I couldn't be prepared for the crying. But I never thought about seeing my mother dead before she was cremated. But I will cry now. The ocean levels will rise. My tears will start hurricanes here in Southwest Florida, where my mother lies waiting for us. I was so angry that I never saw Dave in his coffin because I needed some kind of closure. And my sisters tell me, you don't have to see her if you don't want. That's your decision. And while my mother was still alive and I still had a flight to see her, my father said I'd be shocked when I saw her, that she's so thin. So part of me doesn't know if I can see my mother dead, but I think of the closure I've needed for years after Dave's death. Has been over 8 years now. So a part of me doesn't know how I couldn't see my mother one last time. So I have to see her, and we try to decide what she should wear for the viewing, which is what she will wear when she is burned. And I struggle with this, because I could keep the dress we chose as a memento for my mother. But we chose the dress she wore to my wedding. That her body will spend its last moments on earth in the dress she wore to my wedding. Everyone told her she looked like she was just perfect, beautiful in that dress at my wedding. I have a photo framed for my wedding of Dad kissing Mom in that dress that she looked so lovely in. In a photo where beauty is captured forever. So So it seems beautiful. It seems painfully beautiful that she wears the dress she wore to my wedding before she leaves us forever. So it seems fitting that, like at my wedding, she wears the dress she looked so eternally beautiful in.